Back with Bobby and JJ Radio. Today's guest is Amy Clifton. She's a team leader here at the Keller Williams IH10 Market.
The team leader.
The team leader of all time at the IH10 Market Center, which we're called City Views, San Antonio, Keller Williams. We have 3 Keller Williams here in town, and biasly, I think that we have the best one with the best team leader. She comes from here to San Antonio out of Wichita, Kansas, I think, originally. And
long time ago.
Long time ago. She was a real estate agent when I started about 10 and a half, 11 years ago, and then became a team leader in 2006 and helped create one of the most dominant offices here in San Antonio. Took it from like 150 agents to what is now about 630 agents. She has a staff of 12. We're going to talk about that staff, but the staff that is here for all the agents that do risk management, accounting, the accounting department, a technology director, front desk people, agent services, productivity coaches, and she oversees everything, and she makes sure that we're all happy, agents like Bobby and myself, and we love her to death. How are you doing today, Amy?
I'm fantastic, and I sound busy based on everything that you're
telling
me.
You do. I'm trying to give you some credit here because I see you hanging out all the time. But
I don't do a lot.
I figure you're doing some kind of work. So let's talk about why. Well, this is our series as far as, January comes, all these New Year's resolutions, and people want to make changes in their life. And this month we're talking about philanthropy, and right now we're going to talk about real estate in general as far as a profession. So what do you think is most people want to change careers, or why do you think most people want to change careers in any given year?
And it changes kind of annually, or as markets change and that sort of thing. But what I've seen just over history is most people like to have a little bit control of their life.
Sure.
Whether it's time control, whether it's family control, whether it's income control. Right. And I say flexibility, but flexibility is also kind of loose. I mean, it's not like you can just do whatever you want and still make a ton of money. There's a lot of work that goes into it.
Absolutely.
But I think a lot of people are really trying to get a better handle on family life, a better balance. Maybe that's
I blame it on TV. All these TV shows
that you
are
see,
millionaire real estate agents. There's a million of them,
and
I get caught watching them. But I blame it on those. Everyone thinks that they're going to come in and sell $1 million homes.
Yeah. The funny thing about the TV shows is I watch like Through the Wormhole and all these science things, and Carla's a scientist, and she watches all the.
But you have illegal cable.
I do have illegal cable, so I have to hold the
the bunny ears.
The bunny ears, and it's hard because it gives me a crink in my neck. But I watch like Through the Wormhole and all these science shows, and Carla watches all the $1 million real estate agent shows, and she tells me about them. But I do sit in, and it's kind of a facade or a fantasy about what real estate really is, or maybe it is in other cities. I mean, we know agents all across America.
Well, I just think they become really popular like when the markets get hot.
Sure.
So right now the market's hot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shows. Everyone's watching them. Everyone thinks they're going to come in and be either an investor, a real estate agent, and start flipping houses or selling $1 million homes.
So I remember we were on the ALC during 2009 and 10.
Yeah, when it was really rough. Rough.
No one wanted to be a real estate agent at that point.
Absolutely not. Yeah, and the market. I mean, really, when you're talking about it, we've had this huge influx of real estate agents come back into the marketplace. 7,800, 7,900 agents in our board in San Antonio. But back then, I think we dropped down to maybe 4,500 or something like that.
Yeah.
So we've had, in 4 or 5 years, we've had.
Yeah, and you've seen the ebbs and the flows.
Well, to the point where they were even closing down real estate schools, and
absolutely
they couldn't put students in those classes. They were closing them, and it got to a point where it got so hot, like everyone's doing these online classes. You have to book classes way in advance because they're filling up. So it's crazy.
Yeah, and then the mergers and acquisitions happened in
absolutely
2008 through 10, and you guys, thankfully, I feel that you and Wendy, the other team leader that we had, you guys really went and took some of these offices that were hurting at the time.
Absolutely.
And we absorbed them, not as a power play. It was more because there was these agents that were almost orphaned.
Absolutely.
Because their P&L or their offices weren't maybe being ran as efficiently as humanly possible. A lot of people don't know about our Keller Williams model, but the Keller Williams model is, it exists and it's thrived for a reason because it makes sense. And we absorb a bunch of places. I know that's how we got Jim.
Yeah, exactly.
And his people,
manager.
Cold Banker. We got a whole bunch of people that we absorb and
little mom and pop places.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Little mom. And the boutique places, as much as that we love them, and because they make a city what it is to have some boutique real estate agencies. But Keller Williams, as supports these boutiques, and you can still create
absolutely
a boutique type of business like the Trade Group. If you notice in all of our banners, we do put Keller Williams in there.
Thank you.
Because we're supposed to.
It's required.
Yeah, and then we have the trade group, Bobby JJ.
So even though we're with Keller Williams, we're our own team.
Brand.
We run our own business.
So she's looking for the Keller. It's right behind you.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. Where is it?
It's right here.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Circle it.
Yeah, so we do it on purpose, but you guys support us as a boutique, right?
Absolutely, we do.
Yeah.
We want you to be able to run the business the way you want to run your business inside the Keller Williams umbrella.
And all of us have different businesses. Like, we had Shawnee at the end of last, month, and she was talking about the relocation and the apartment locating.
We have Jason Glass. He's got his own team out there. They do all the luxury stuff.
Right. And we've had Josh Boggs that does all the short
sales
sales. We have Bridgman Properties that does all the property management. So all of us do different things. You guys just support us, and you guys are awesome. But let's talk about to have a great fit as a real estate agent. What are some of the things that Keller Williams looks at?
Well, it's interesting. We've noticed, and anyone can be successful in real estate with any kind of personality style, but we really try and get a gauge and a hone on what personality styles work best with people.
Sure.
I think the biggest thing is you actually have to like people.
Yeah,
that has to be part of it, and you actually want to help someone, and you have this customer service background and feel.
Right.
But we do some personality kind of testing and stuff like that. It's, the DISC personality profile, and that kind of defines what personality style you are. We also do an AVA, which is kind of your strengths and weaknesses, where you're fantastic, where you might struggle with something, and then and it helps you guys. You're building this massive team, and it helps you find strength.
AVA is a personality test.
Absolutely.
To find
It's
out
two questions.
to find out what your strengths and weaknesses are.
It's two questions.
Two questions.
And they know everything about you at that point.
Yeah, and it's
They're the right questions.
But it's freaky because I won't even show my wife my AVA because it's like my hopes and dreams and my nightmares.
She'll divorce you.
All in one.
All in one. And I was like, it was two questions, and it actually knew so much about me, freaked me out.
Yeah.
The DISC profile too is we give to all of our employees, or that's how we kind of get the talent that we need. And I love that you really said that anyone can make it in this game.
Absolutely.
But where you lack, you need to figure out what you lack.
Absolutely.
And then you have to hire to support what you lack. Because most people, I think, make the mistake of hiring people like themselves. That's actually how.
Well, because you like to be around each
so
other.
JJ, you just said the DISC. So the DISC is what it is. It's a personality test, and it's how we hire. We make people. We don't make them, but they take a test.
Shotgun.
And depending on their personality, they fit the job description that we need them for, and they can do that job efficiently.
Absolutely.
So that's how we hire.
Well, and really, it's not even just efficiently; it's that they're going to be good at it, and they'll be able to sustain it for a long period of time, and they'll do it better than you ever could. And so, I think that's that's how we hire this, the staff and the leadership in the office and the market center is that way as well.
If you're just joining us, we're speaking with Amy Clifton, team leader of Keller Williams IH10 Market Center, better known as City View. We're going over the different personalities or reasons why people get in, and what are maybe more supportive personalities in the game. And I know we were just talking about anyone can make it. We know some people that are unlikely.
That should never ever be around another person.
Yeah, that are
and
unlikely.
They still have a license.
Yeah, no, but they also do business. The thing about
Absolutely.
Keller Williams, they sit you down. They tell you, you're not. You need to work on these skills, right? And then you have programs like Bold, and you have Ignite, and all these productivity coaching, and all this stuff that helps people get outside of their comfort zone, right?
Absolutely.
And you challenge. I think all of your agents every year.
Absolutely.
I know we train or help train for you guys when we can.
Which we love.
Yeah, and we try to get people out of their comfort zone because a lot of people, they're a little bit more timid than they should be, and there's not a timid game as far as real estate.
No, it's not. You have to be willing to put yourself out there. So
there's a huge turnover rate when it comes to real estate agents, but I guess the biggest thing is if you're going to work, if you're not going to be lazy, you can succeed no matter what personality type you are.
Sure.
Absolutely.
And let's dive a little bit deeper into some of the training programs that you guys have there at Keller Williams.
Absolutely. And for new agents coming in, you go through the process of getting your license, and it goes really quickly, and you kind of know enough to be dangerous at that point. So that's kind of where we jump into it.
Sure.
And we kick off a new agent training class called Ignite that really boosts your career. It is worked through with our trainers and our productivity coaches. They also kind of hold your hand and walk you through the process of how everything works. So it's not just the contracts; it's also negotiating and going out and getting business.
Right.
And then once you've kind of graduated from that piece and you're feeling pretty comfortable, then we have you pop into Bold, and Bold just really expands your brain and just blows the socks off of your production and gets you moving.
Makes you hold yourself accountable to a certain amount of calls and contacting a certain amount of people per day and week and month. And then having
so you actually make it a business.
You're making it a
business. Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people I feel don't understand when they start real estate is that it is a business. I mean, it's not a job. I think some people think I'm going to transition from this job to another job. It's not a job. It's going from maybe a corporate job environment to starting I hate to kind of compare it, but it's like starting a restaurant or any other job. Yeah, and you're because
startup small company.
In the beginning, you're the CEO, you're the janitor, you're the P&L guy.
You're still the janitor.
I'm still the janitor. It's my passion.
I'm fine being the janitor. I don't care.
It's actually my passion, my custodial art.
He's got a custom plunger and a mop.
Yeah, so. It has a grip. It has like a kung fu grip. It's awesome. But yeah, in the beginning, you're everything, and then you guys have taught us as agents that little by little, you start to cut away what you're not good at,
absolutely,
or don't like to do, and find people that can do it better than you can to begin with.
Absolutely.
And then I hate to shamelessly plug our, founder's book, but then you go into the One Thing.
Absolutely.
Which is a book that just was released. What was it, last year?
Yeah, just last year. Mm-hmm.
And when I read that, I thought that I knew the route that I was supposed to be going. But once I read The One Thing by Gary Keller, I realized that I'm doing way too much.
Absolutely. We all are.
Yeah, everyone should only be good at maybe 3 things, but even then you should only be doing one
of them.
And once you read that book, you kind of understand as a real estate agent or any kind of business owner. I think
Absolutely.
that book is universal.
Well, yeah, and it's for everything.
I give it to my son.
It's not just for business. Well, and that's perfect because he's a perfect age for kind of thinking about that.
Yeah.
But it's also, it's great for life. Just focusing on, health, wellness in your family or whatever. It's, it's
Were you guys able to get a Spanish version for JJ? Cause
or a pop-up for Bobby?
He's a good Spanish reader.
Bobby needs a pop-up.
We are working on that.
That's
the second edition run through.
I gave it to Chantel, but she hasn't read it yet, but that's something else. So we're going to take a quick break and speak to our show partners, but we're going to come back with Amy Clifton. We're going to talk more about Keller Williams. We're going to talk about why this brokerage is the best brokerage in town, and we're going to have all these different activities that or events that they can come to and figure out how the culture is with our Keller Williams Realty City View office. Do not move an inch. Do not touch the dial. This is Bobby and JJ Radio.